Good morning again, everyone. Welcome to CEO Chat. I'm Joe Osamendi,
I'm Al Cini.
and we're here with Karen Rossilli-Kiefer, who is president of TeamPAR. And Karen, welcome to our show, first of all.
Thank you for having me.
Real pleasure.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. You have a fascinating story to tell us about. And before we get into what your company does, why don't you tell our audience exactly how TeamPAR started, okay? I think it's a great story.
Well, it started as a mother-daughter team. Over 2 decades ago, I decided, and my husband decided on the same day, to quit our New York City jobs and to start our own companies.
Cool.
We said the worst that could happen is that we fail. So I approached my father and asked him to be my mentor for 6 months, since my father owns a successful flooring company. And off we went to the races, but I had no employees and I had nobody to help me. So I approached my mother and said, "Won't this be fun? This is going to be fantastic.
Right.
You're going to help me grow and run this business, and you're not going to get paid, but we're going to have a lot of fun
We're
doing
going to
it."
have a great time.
Yeah, we're going to have a great time.
Good.
So I'm happy to say that she was only unpaid for a short time,
Okay.
and we were together as a team for 13 years.
Terrific.
And we had a really fantastic time. My mom now is happily retired and dancing and doing yoga and
good for her.
enjoying her time.
Great.
And since then, the business has taken off, not in spite of her leaving, but because of her help.
Yeah.
We've been in business for over 20 years, and we started as PAR Flooring,
Okay.
better known as PAR Corporation, because at the beginning we really didn't know how we wanted to grow the business.
Okay.
So PAR Corporation became PAR Flooring,
Okay.
and over the years it's evolved even further to TeamPAR.
Great.
Okay.
Great. Let's talk for a bit about that, your value proposition, because we spoke a little bit yesterday on the phone, and we just had a conversation before the program. Our audience is business owners, founders of companies, people who are just getting started in business, people who are growing their businesses. And interior design is so much of an afterthought to so many people that I don't think they're really very mindful of any of that. But if you get an expert in, such as TeamPAR, to really help you with your use plans, tell us a little bit about how you solve that. I mean, you have a prescriptive solution approach, I think.
Sure.
Talk about that.
So the one thing that really sets us apart is that we don't have any salespeople in TeamPAR. There's nobody that works on commission.
Okay.
So everything we do is client driven and prescriptive to that client.
Okay.
So if TeamPAR is hired to run a project, design a project, install a project, what we really care about is the long-term success of what we're doing for that client. It's not about the sale, it's about the relationship. So when we go in, the first thing we do is a tremendous amount of interviewing.
Okay.
We interview from the top down. We really like to get into the trenches and talk to all the managers and figure out how do they interact with each other, how do the departments interact with each other, how do they foresee growth in the
Okay.
next 18 months to 5 years. Do they need spaces to collaborate as a team?
Right.
Or is it all independent work? Is sound an issue? Is everybody comfortable? And then we really look into the dynamics of the company.
Okay.
See, the difficulty today is that there's 4 generations working together side by side.
Okay.
You have the millennials who are just coming in, and you have the silent generation that's on their way out, and you have the Generation Xers and the baby boomers who are still in the trenches. And all 4 of those generations are extremely important to the workplace. They bring different ethics, they bring different experience, and they bring different drive and goals to the company. But they all work differently.
Right.
They all work best in a different environment.
Okay.
So it's doing some game planning and master planning with a team like TeamPAR that will really make the company extremely successful.
Okay.
It's not about, putting down floors, window treatments, wall coverings, or the furniture. Yes, those are necessary, in order to outfit any space. But it's really about the flow. It's really about how the team interacts. It's
Right.
really about, planning for future growth and making employees feel valued.
That's great.
It's about culture.
I think that's important, and your interior space really reflects your culture. And your job is to understand that culture up front and make sure that a design you put together is supportive of that culture.
Oh, absolutely.
And represents the brand of the company in a positive way, and I think that's so important. You mentioned during the program too that you consider a differentiator for TeamPAR to be your product knowledge, your extensive knowledge of products. It's not just about price and discount though. Tell us about what you really know about the products that people use.
Sure. So when I entered this field, obviously I'm a woman, and coming into commercial construction, especially over 20 years ago, a woman in my position wasn't common.
Really?
So,
Pioneer.
yeah, very not common. A woman wearing a hard hat on a commercial job site is still far and few between. So in order to, one, earn respect, two, earn clients, and to take them away from people that they already trust, that's a tricky
Right,
spot to be in.
Right.
So what I did was I studied my competitors, and I asked them, or I didn't ask them, but I asked myself, what are they good at? Let's really look at them objectively. And so many of my competitors in Central Jersey and North Jersey are extremely successful. They're excellent at turnkeying space. They offer union and non-union labor. They have their own warehousing. They can operate crews 7 days a week. And I was able to confidently say I could check that box and do all of those things, and hopefully equally as well. But then what I really wanted to focus on was what they were not doing well, and become an expert in that field. Product knowledge, I definitely saw there was an opening to become a product knowledge expert. And in order to really be a product knowledge expert, you have to do it for the right reasons for the client. You want to create return on investment that isn't there. You want to drive a spec into a place that's going to be profitable for your client and useful for long-term maintenance. So what really happened was, through becoming a product knowledge expert, value engineering became our mainstay and became our differentiator.
Sure.
So everybody may not realize that value engineering has nothing to do with price. Yes, in a lot of cases, I'm able to value engineer a project, save a client, let's say, 20 to 40% from their original spec. But what I truly care about is not compromising their warranties, or their maintenance plan, or even improving them.
That's so important.
It is important.
It's about the life cycle of the products that you use, not just the installation, but throughout the entire 5, 10, 15-year history, looking forward, using it all.
It's time for our first commercial break.
Oh,
But we'll be back, Karen, with you in a few minutes.
Thank you so much.
Karen Rossilli-Kiefer, thank you very much. Welcome back to CEO Chat. My name is Al Cini.
And I'm still Joe Osamendi.
Just like before.
Absolutely.
And we're here with Karen Rossilli-Kiefer, and we're talking about interior design. During the break and before the program, we talked about Karen's focus areas, her niche work that she does. If you're outfitting office space, you should call her. If you're outfitting space for a senior living facility, you should call her. And also schools. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about all three of those special areas.
Sure. We're very passionate about all three of those areas, and the focus is very different. With schools, we do a lot of private schools in the K through 12 arena, as well as universities, and their needs are also unique and fascinating. We've done everything from dormitories to student unions to classrooms to actually creating the brand of the school, the mascot. And helping them have a personality that the children can be proud of. And that really is a wonderful thing to be part of, to helping the youth become confident and feel good in their place of learning is a wonderful thing for me.
Yeah, that's great.
With senior living, we're very passionate about senior living for a few reasons. We feel when our elderly are forced to sell their homes and make a decision towards the end of their life to move away from their comfort zone, that sadly in the past a lot of them have looked very institutionalized. And especially people in New Jersey, I feel are very proud people. They've worked very hard, and I don't want them to feel like they're lost or missed. So in a senior living facility, if we could add life and bring nature in, even in small ways, it will create a huge impact for their well-being and their psyche. We're experts in color theory, and in senior living, to put the right colors in the right places could stimulate appetite, could help with sleep,
Yes.
or could just help with their overall sense of well-being. We also are experts in lighting. We do murals to help bring the outside in, or take lost nooks of space and make it valuable with an indoor garden, or a restful area where there's water treatments and murals to make them feel like they're back on the beach.
Those
or
features
by a
make them
pond.
feel at home rather than
Yes.
in an institution, and that's
Yes.
so they have to feel like they have a future.
Right.
And you get all that from the space that you live in. And that's why it's so important to.
I mean, the functionality is really key in all three segments that we service,
Okay.
of course. But to me, it's more about a connection to the space. Yes, we could supply and install all the furniture, wall covering, window treatments, and flooring that they need. Anybody can that's in the commercial interiors market. But it's really connecting with who works there, lives there,
Sure.
or teaches there. And to really try to hone in on that psyche and add value deeper than just performance.
Sure. So that creativity for schools and for senior living facilities also comes into play when you're just designing office space for somebody. As simple as that might be by comparison, no two uses are the same. And
Ever.
listening to what people need and really understanding how to meet those needs. And the product knowledge you mentioned before, the important thing, if advocating the position, the point of view of a customer who would be watching the program, it would be important for me to know that I'm working with somebody who understands how durable the product is, what the acoustic ramifications are of selecting one material over another. That's something you all do. TeamPAR is known for that.
What we like to do, I know we already dabbled and talked about interviewing and really honing in on the individual departments and how they interact, but we really like to start with a master plan.
Okay.
A lot of companies, I mean, none of us, I shouldn't say none of us are Rockefeller, but most of us aren't Rockefeller, and we have budgets we have to live within. So if we could create a master plan that will allow them to think 5 years out and create then phases of work that over 5 years can be completed within their budget.
Got it.
We then, at the end, can look like it was all done at one
All
time.
seamless. All seamless.
Very
It's great.
important. So you can help me start with a couple of thousand square feet for 15 or
Absolutely.
20 employees, and later when I'm 50,000 square feet, the space won't look like it was hashed together. I'll grow into it, which is.
We will help with the branding, we will help with the image, we will help also with all of the nooks and crannies that add value to the employees. Putting in the huddle rooms, the conference rooms, the wellness rooms, even collaborative areas in the open space or in glass enclosed rooms that are still open to view, to show people that yes, people are working together as a team and look at what we're accomplishing.
That's important.
Yeah, the culture today, the younger generation, the millennials, really like to work in open space.
Right.
They like to have the freedom to move around. They like to be able to say, I'm going to go work on the couch now, and then I'm going to go work in the cafe, you know, or the kitchen for a little bit, and then I'm going to take a cubicle for 2 hours because I really just need to get my emails done or work on this business plan that has been asked of me from my boss. But to have that flexibility, you know, actually makes them more productive.
And unfortunately, we have to work on our second commercial break right now. We'll be right back, Karen.
Okay.
We'll be right back
Okay.
with some more about interior design.
Right.
Perfect, thank you.
Welcome back to CEO Chat. Once again, I'm Joe Osamendi,
And I'm Al Cini. Welcome back.
and we're so glad that Karen Rossilli-Kiefer decided to come by and join us on CEO
You're
Chat.
getting those Italian names down, Joe. I'm really proud of you.
I'm sitting next to two of them. You know, what kind of
Doing great. Good.
Mine kind of sounds Italian. So,
Yeah.
so anyhow, Karen, where are you? Where's TeamPAR based, and where's your customer based?
Sure. So our offices are in Flanders, New Jersey.
Okay.
We were in Morristown for 15 years, and we outgrew our space. That's a really good problem.
Yeah, very good.
That's a
And we
happy
are
problem.
now in Flanders.
Okay.
Our warehouse is in Newark, New Jersey. We operate out of a 30,000 square foot warehouse
Okay.
where all of our materials are received into, inspected, pre-cut and measured if needed, and then staged and loaded on demand for delivery.
Okay.
We service, our sweet spot is typically from Trenton to the Hudson River, so all of Central and North Jersey.
Okay.
We do dabble in New York, up the Palisades and in the outer boroughs.
Okay.
But for PAR Solutions, our design services, we honestly could go anywhere for that.
So consulting services are nationwide, there's no boundaries.
Correct,
Terrific.
correct.
That's great. Great. Now, Joe, you may not know this. Well, in fact, I know that in fact you do know this.
I'll be darned.
Because we talked about it a little while ago. Karen is a Drexel graduate, and you were in Drexel for design, is that right?
Correct.
That's what you went to school
Correct.
for.
Yes.
Okay, great. So this is you kind of, you mentioned you left a cushy job in New York City.
Yes.
To get back to what you took in school, which is
Yes.
kind of great. Good.
You know what? I grew up in an entrepreneurial environment.
Okay.
So I find it fascinating to grow a business, to have a team that is loyal not only to TeamPAR but to our clients, and to have such a client-centric environment that we've created. I'm pretty proud of it.
Yeah,
I'm very
great.
proud of my team and my support system. Couldn't do any of it without a solid home base.
Right.
And my husband is extremely supportive of my company.
Oh, that's terrific. That's really, that's great.
And certainly you've grown, I mean, grown
Oh, yeah,
tremendously
I think
in the last 20 years.
I think
Yes.
that's wonderful.
Yes.
What's the largest job you've done? What's the biggest thing?
Sure. My largest job, well, it depends in which categories we're speaking. We've done a 22-story high-rise in Jersey City.
Wow.
We've done luxury condos in Brooklyn. We renovated the Maidenform factory with a general contractor that we've worked with for 2 decades into urban loft apartments.
Oh, wow.
It was fantastic to do that.
Good, great.
We do municipal work for the County of Essex, and we're currently redoing Cody Arena, which is a large ice skating rink. We've done the studios for Major League Baseball in Secaucus.
Okay.
So we really run the gamut. We do biopharma work for companies, and we really love that market because those are scientists that have a dream to solve a problem, and we really love to go in and solve their problems as their companies grow. So I feel like it's very like-minded.
Oh, that's interesting. I mean, you get to know what they do for a living by virtue of what you do for a living.
They're so smart.
To
They're
support
so
that. I
smart,
bet they
and
are. That's great.
it's wonderful to see what they're doing for mankind.
Good, good. That's terrific. And the whole idea of interior design is a part of the way your company does business. It fascinates me, and I get the impression you work not just with property owners, but also property managers.
Correct.
And real estate developers.
Correct.
So if I'm building a building, I'd want to call you. If I'm rehabbing a building or redoing my space, I'd want to call you. I mean, those are all areas that you would.
Absolutely.
Working.
We help property managers keep tenants happy by either adding amenities to buildings through their capital improvement budgets, upgrading their corridors, their lobbies, their elevators, their shared cafeterias, or even their exercise rooms. All of that you need to do to keep up with the Joneses so that the tenants don't want to leave and they want to stay with you. We will do all of that budgeting free of charge. We'll go and field measure, we'll make recommendations, and then when budgets allow, we will back them into it with the right products at the right price to make sure the return on investment is met.
There's so much more than just bricks and mortar and chairs and tables. It's a fascinating way to make an environment comfortable for every generation that's going to be in there, and everything is individually done.
We team build. We bring the right people in. If we don't have them in-house, we will collaborate and put the team together and act as the owner's representative on a project so that they could focus on what they need to focus on.
Which is so
And
important.
we will manage all of the moving parts for them, report back into them weekly, and let them know that we're remaining on budget, we're remaining on time,
Right.
and that their needs are being met.
I'm thinking I might have a lead for you.
Fantastic.
And while you were talking, I was thinking, a condo board or a co-op board that's looking to renovate a common space like a lobby,
Absolutely.
that would be an area where you would
We
get
do all of
involved. And
that.
somehow you can come up with a space that makes all 300 people in this multi-story building happy.
And take the nooks and crannies that are currently underutilized and add value.
And try to find, utilize space more efficiently and get more out of the limited space you have. I think that's terrific. Great, great. at that part of the program where you get to tell everybody how to reach you.
Absolutely.
So, so this is your minute or two in the program. Just look right into your camera
Right there, okay?
and tell everybody why they should call you and how they can get a hold of you.
Well, please visit TeamPAR.com. On our website, you will see blog posts, newsletters, client testimonials, as well as case studies of people that we've helped. We do hope that you have a project in the future and that you will lean on TeamPAR to add value to your space. We could be reached at 973-292-0089, and we're ready to help.
Karen, thank you so much for joining us today on CEO Chat.
Thank
It's
you
a
so
pleasure.
much.
Pleasure, Karen, thank you.
Thank you for having me. I do appreciate it.
Totally our pleasure. And you know so much, and it was such a great value to have you on the program.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And thank you for watching today on CEO Chat. My name is Al Steeney,
And Joe Osmendi,
and you have a, well, go ahead and tell them.
have a great weekend. Be safe, sound. Come back and see us next Friday.
He's our great
10:30,
weekend guy.
11:30,
Next
you know?
Friday, 10:30 and 11:30, CEO Chat. Thanks very much.
Thanks, guys.